The fact that Usman is now fighting Khamzat Chimaev has me so much more excited than Paulo Costa. I am being texted. 2 seconds. I need to mute my phone. There we go. It's been muted. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry about that, folks. That's embarrassing. Never happened before on this channel, but I'm just such a popular man. Anyway, Khamzat Chimaev, the killer himself, versus Usman, the killer himself. It's going to be a great fight. Usman's style is a perfect match for Chimaev. You know, I feel like Costa's style is good as well, but Costa's more of like a dirty boxing style that I feel like Khamzat would have just capitalized on. I actually was about to film a video predicting Paulo and Chimaev, but I wanted to give it a few more hours in case any news dropped about Usman stepping in, and he is. You know, Gilbert Burns kind of highlighted at it on his story. Usman posted a little smirk on his story. This is a great fight. It gets Usman to fight again. It gets him to fight at 185. It's going to be very exciting to see him at 185 and against a 170-pounder threat like Chimaev. This fight was the fight I originally wanted. I wanted Usman Chimaev at 170. It's happening at 185. That's no problem. If Usman goes out here and beats Chimaev, he's rebuilt himself again as a superstar, as a king. I think it's very important for Chimaev not to rush his work this time, though. Hold Usman against the cage, knee him to the body and try to trip him to the floor. That's what you got to do. Do not run at him from the bell, because I believe Usman has the hips, the legs to defend a takedown, to reverse it. And I think this one's going to be... On the feet, I don't know if this will be anything special. You know, Usman's gotten better on the feet, but he's a bit of like a jab-happy wrestler, right? So he'll throw a lot of jabs, not many hooks, you know, maybe some like rangy long left hooks at Chimaev. But I do think a lot of this one will be taking place in the grappling. Not because these guys are great, phenomenal grapplers, just I feel like the styles will cancel themselves out to where grappling will be very much a necessary part, a necessary player in this one. You've kind of got to give the edge to Chimaev, you know. We've now got two, in a way, challengers coming up on 11 days' notice to Abu Dhabi. But, you know, Usman's fought at Fight Island before. Usman's aware of the difference in time. I just want to say this. Usman's style isn't massively athletic, okay? He's not necessarily a movement-orientated fighter. He kind of like plods forward, looking for that one big right hand, left hand. Does enough to win. He always does enough to win. I mean, when I did my top 5 most boring fighters list, Usman, his name was thrown in the hat by a few of you guys in the comments. And I was thinking, no, because, you know, when you're flatlining people, you're having brawls with Colby, you can't... In recent years, that was good, solid, good quality competitive fights with Edwards. They're not boring fights, you know. They're for an MMA fan like myself, they're enjoyable fights because they're so competitive. A bit like the first Volkanovski Islam fight. Such high level MMA, so fun to watch. But then you get your people like Oliveira, whose styles just make it for that an interesting fight. I think Usman has a really good chance of going out here and actually beating Khamzat. But I think if this one's a 3-rounder, right? And that completely changes it. That makes me more confident in Chimaev, the fact it's a 3-round fight, okay? If this one was 5 rounds, I would give Usman the edge by decision. I'm going to go Khamzat Chimaev by decision, I think, here. I'm going to make a separate video, maybe a bit closer to the fight next week. My final predictions for all the fights on the main card. I'll obviously fill you in with a bit more info when it comes to a prediction next week. However, in like the fight week build-up, I've got a few other videos I want to make this week. I'm kind of leaning towards Khamzat by decision, and then I think Usman might call it. I think, you know, Usman might call it a career. You know, I'm sure he wouldn't want to go out like that on a decision loss on short notice. He had a really good run, and I feel like people are kind of forgetting who Usman is a bit. But those knees, brother, those knees are in bits. Chimaev is a killer. He's hungry for this. He's got that mentality. He's coming back after a long layoff. He probably wants to go out there and make it a quick night, dominate people, get right back in there, get the middleweight title. Strickland versus Chimaev could be next after this, you know. Usman's one of the best pound for pound in the world, so it's not even a... Despite the fact that it's at middleweight, it's probably a more comfortable weight for Usman at this point in his career, you know, after coming off a KO, but I don't think Chimaev has punching power, right? And I know we've seen him knock out Gerald Meerschaert, I get it. That was a perfect punch and he sat on that shot. But when he's coming forward, I just feel like it's a lot of arms. He doesn't really sit on hooks too well. As you've seen against Gilbert Burns, it's kind of more slappy hooks, like a low level boxing type thing, you know, a dirty boxing, a bit like Nate Diaz. You know, he slaps punches around the head, like dirty box style, hammer fist and body shots. And I truly think, okay, I really feel like Usman has a good chance. He just needs to keep the jab up. The front kick of Chimaev could be a nightmare though. The fast shots of Chimaev, Usman sprawling on him, but Chimaev still running him down, running into the sprawl. That's what Chimaev does, and he's so aggressive with it. I'm going to say Khamzat Chimaev by decision. That's my prediction for right now. I just think he'll have a bit more to offer than Usman will in terms of aggression, intensity, pace. And Usman might start to land a few uppercuts in the clinch. I think a clinch approach from Usman would be smart. Try bully Chimaev. I mean, Chimaev's one of the hardest, I'd say probably the hardest fighter in the UFC to bully, just because if you're not prepared for it. You know, Gilbert Burns was game, he was there to fight. As soon as he gets through the first round, he's like, okay, I'm here to play now, brother, you know, like, show me what you've got. And that's what Usman needs to do. Usman needs to pour the pressure on, but I do not feel like Usman's striking is of a high enough caliber to pour pressure on and not get taken down at the same time. The takedown threat is there this time. And I feel like the Colby Covington fight, Usman got really comfortable because he was comfortable enough bullying Covington on the feet. I don't think he'll be able to do that to Chimaev, which leaves the threat of the takedown open, and that will be in Usman's mind. Regardless of how incredibly skilled Usman is as a wrestler, that will be on his mind, the fact that he is susceptible to be taken down by a bigger man than him. It's the first time going up a weight, 15 pounds heavier. It's the biggest weight jump in the UFC, bar heavyweight. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Khamzat Chimaev by decision. But Usman steps in, saving the card. I really appreciate it. I respect it, Usman. Thank you very much. Let's see what you can bring to the table. I'm really excited for the fight. I hope you guys are too. I'll be live streaming it, as I said, and there'll be more videos out on this specific card, UFC 294, next week. And I'm really excited for it, guys, okay? So what I want to say is big thanks to everyone for all the support. Let me know your thoughts on this. Thank you very much, Usman. As I said, I actually prefer the card this way. I prefer the card to how it was previous. So I'm actually really grateful for this happening in a way, because I prefer this fight to the Costa fight, because it's the fight everyone really wanted before the Costa fight was made. The Costa fight was like, oh, that's a good fight. Don't know. This one's exciting. Usman Chimaev is a massive fucking fight, because it has implications on the top of the welterweight rankings as well, you know. And I feel like Chimaev's new division's middleweight, and if you stop Usman, what about Adesanya for the interim belt? Give Sean Strickland a fight in March next year, something like this, UFC 299 against someone, and then put Adesanya on the co-main for the interim belt against Chimaev. So the winner of that fights Strickland again. That would be a smart idea. That would be a cool idea. Thank you very much for watching, folks. See you later.